difference between what obviously Charlotte needs to do with their draft and what Portland needs to do with the draft is Portland, Joe Cronin, the GM there, has got an all-time great player in Damian Lillard sitting there either staring at the ceiling about his future or is completely locked in about what he wants and has communicated it to Joe. What do you think walk me through the delicacy of the general manager of the Blazers job tonight and moving forward, Bobby?
Yeah, high wire balancing act, right? Basically 3 different options you're staring at. You can stay at 3 and pick another young player, whether it be Henderson or Brandon Miller, and you drafted Shaedon Sharpe last year. That basically sets you up for the future. Now, the future, when you've got Damian Lillard, under contract for the next 4 years and at his age, that doesn't line up. So when you're looking at option 2, are you moving out of 3 for an established player, whether it be an all-star? There's no all-star right now out there to go out and get that's available here. And then certainly option 3 is what happens if you stay at 3, you draft it, and then that player, of course, does not fit the timeline of Damian Lillard. I mean, he's been out front saying that, basically we're kind of in win-now mode, and, building this roster through young players is, not my cup of tea right now. And I think under any other scenario, you would probably, look at suitors. I think that if Damian Lillard wants to get traded, Damian Lillard needs to go in that front office and says, what, time's up. I want to move. Here's the 3 or 4 teams. And I think if that's the case, I think Portland would certainly work with him based on the equity here. And I've said all along, I just feel like a year from now, if they don't move off Lillard, we're going to be talking again and be like, hey, what do they do with Damian Lillard again? And it's kind of just a repeated performance here. So if I was in that front office, I would stay at number 3. I would have a hard conversation with Damian Lillard. Basically, this is the direction where we're going right now, and we're fine if you want out, and we'll help you getting to that place you want to get to.
So you would go to him if he hasn't come to you yet, Bobby?
Yes, because I don't know if he ever will. That's the thing. Like, he has so much goodwill there. I don't think he wants to be that guy who asks out. I don't know if that's what his legacy wants to be. Different than what Jimmy Butler did in Minnesota. There's certainly a legacy of players that have done that here. I think that's I think if you're Joe Cronin, if you're going to be waiting for Damian Lillard to walk in your office, I think you're going to be waiting for a long time here. And I do think that if they do stay at 3, that you're going to have that hard conversation.
Well, unless whoever they choose at 3 turns into an immediate, impactful, remarkably talented National Basketball Association player, it is hard for me to conceive that this squares with Damian Lillard staring at his biological watch on his hand and saying it's winning time, right? I don't know how you square these things, Bobby. So if they choose a guy tonight, right? If they choose a player tonight, doesn't that essentially wrap it? No? I mean, what do you got for me on that?
No, it is, and I think that's where we're trending towards. I think that's where we're trending towards. All signs indicate that they are going to stay at 3, that there's no deal that's going to come to fruition here. And I think even if whether it be Miller or Henderson, what are we 2 years away from now? Do you tell Damian Lillard give us to the All-Star break and see where things are? I think you can make a clean break this offseason here, and I think you can get the most right now compared to waiting.
So you think Lillard moves tonight, Bobby? Give me the big one tonight that we're not seeing right now.
I don't think tonight. I think this is something that maybe we get into the weekend or we lead up into free agency here. But I don't think Lillard will be. I don't think we're. I would be real surprised if especially after they pick, he walks in their front office and says, "This is it."
Right.
I think this wouldn't be. I think it's almost like what we saw with Durant last year, where maybe it drags out a little bit here. And I think if you're Portland, you're going to be. If you ever get to this point, you're going to be looking for certainly the best package out there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.